A very healthy morning to all my dear students. Today we are going to discuss one of the topics from the grammar syllabus for July month, that is pronouns. So yes, today we are going to discuss our new topic from the grammar, pronouns. As you all know, pronouns are the words which are used in place of nouns. Pronouns replace nouns in the sentences, and these pronouns can be singular or plural and masculine, feminine or a neutral gender. And a pronoun may also be the subject or the object of a sentence. And yes, the subjective and the objective form may be different in each sentence. So thus pronouns are different from nouns. Now let's understand this, what I have said, through an example. So here I am going to read one sentence for you. Suman knows Leela and Samir. In this sentence, Suman is the subject, knows is the verb, Leela and Samir is the object. Now let's see, in place of Suman I'll write she. Suman is a noun, and in place of Suman I will write the pronoun she. In place of knows I can also write likes, and in place of Leela and Samir I write them. I've written them because here Leela and Samir, they are the plural nouns. We have two names of two persons. So here I will write them. So this what I was going to tell you about, that in this sentence the subjective form of pronoun is she, and it takes the objective form them. So here is the list of some subjective pronouns and the objective pronouns which go always in pair in the sentence. If the subject is I, we have to use object me. For subject you, we use the object you only. For he, the object is him. For she, the object is her. For it, the object also remains the same, it. For the subject we, us is used as the object. And for the subject they, them is used as an object. So now moving ahead, we'll start with types of pronouns. And the first type of pronoun which we are going to do is the reflexive pronoun. Now what are reflexive pronouns? Reflexive pronouns always ends in self or selves for the plurals, such as myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, etc. So the reflexive pronouns are the ones which end in self or selves in plural. So these self pronouns, they usually stand for the same person or the thing as the subject of the sentence. For example, I saw myself in the mirror. Here the reflexive pronoun is myself, and it stands for the same person, that is I. One more example we'll just see for that. She looked at herself in the mirror. Here the reflexive pronoun herself, it stands for the same person, that is she. We taught ourselves to swim. Here the reflexive pronoun ourselves stands for the same person, we. The boys hurt themselves getting over the wall. Here the reflexive pronoun themselves stands for the same person, the boys. Now moving ahead, we also have emphasizing pronouns. Now what is the difference between emphasizing or the reflexive? Now there is a little bit of difference between the two. For example, in the sentence, I am enjoying myself thoroughly. Now in this sentence, it shows that the emphatic use of the reflexive pronouns. In their emphatic use, the reflexive pronouns sometimes have the meaning alone, in which case they may often have by with them. So in this case, sometimes we emphasize on the fact that the subject is alone, and it is usually accompanied by the word by. It is usually accompanied, and the word which comes with it is by. For example, I went there by myself. In this, I want to tell that I was alone. I went there alone by myself. Mum made the pudding all by herself. Here I want to say that mother made the pudding all alone. There was no one to help her, so by herself. So this was the use as emphatic pronouns. The next one is interrogative pronouns. Now, as the name suggests, these are the some pronouns that we use when we ask questions. Interrogative word is always used in the context of asking questions. So these are the pronouns which we use when we ask questions. Examples: who are you? What have you got for lunch today? Which of these movies have you watched? Now you will notice here the words who, what and which. These are the interrogative pronouns. So the pronouns that are used to ask questions, they are called interrogative pronouns. And the words which are used as interrogative pronouns are who, what, which, whose, whom. So all these are the interrogative pronouns. And moving ahead from the interrogative pronouns, the next one is demonstrative pronouns. Now what are the demonstrative pronouns? There are 4 pronouns that are used to point out things. We can just understand it by the word demonstrative. It means to demonstrate, to point out, or to show. So these are the 4 pronouns that are used to point out things. Example: 4 pronouns are this, that, these and those. The examples for this are: this is a book, these are my books, that is a star, those are stars. Now let's see what's the difference between the 4 of them. Now for here I'm going to show you. This stands for a singular pronoun. That also stands for a singular pronoun, but this is used when that singular pronoun is near to us, and that is used for the singular pronoun which is far away from us. So this and that both stand for singular pronoun, but when the singular pronoun is near us, it is closer to us, then we use it this. But when that singular pronoun is far away from us, then we use that. Similarly, these and those. These also stands for plural pronouns, and those also stands for plural pronouns. But when the plural pronouns are close to us, then we use these, and when the plural pronouns are far away from us, we use those. So the 4 demonstrative pronouns are this, that, these and those. The next type of pronoun is indefinite pronoun. So as the name suggests, indefinite. So indefinite pronouns are those which refer to the people or the things without saying exactly who or what they are. Here we do not know exactly who or what the thing or the people are. For example, anybody, anyone, somebody, something or someone. For example, if I say someone is there at the door, so I am not sure who is the person standing at the door, I say someone is at the door. Now another example for this is everybody loves a good person. Here I am just saying in general, everybody loves. I am not talking about any specific person here, and I don't know the exact person. I am just saying everybody loves a good person. So it is an example of indefinite pronoun. So the next one, moving ahead with the types of pronoun, is impersonal pronouns. Now what are impersonal pronouns? Only 3 pronouns are used in it, that are it, they and their. Only these 3 pronouns are termed as impersonal pronouns. Why do we use only these 3 pronouns as impersonal pronouns? Because in these cases it doesn't mean a person or a thing. We use it to talk about, for example, a weather. We are not talking about a specific person or a thing. For example, I say it is cloudy. Here it does not stand for any person or a thing. It here stands for the weather. The next one example is it's 4:30. Here it doesn't stand for any person or a thing. It stands for the time. So that is why they are known as the impersonal pronouns, where it doesn't mean a specific person or a thing. Then another one of the most important pronouns next is the relative pronoun. Now what is a relative pronoun? A relative clause is always introduced by a relative pronoun. The most common examples of these are who, whom, whose, which and that. So these 5 pronouns are known as relative pronouns, as the relative clause in a sentence is always introduced by one of these relative pronouns. And what all those are the relative pronouns? Who, whom, whose, which and that. And the relative pronoun will always depend upon what we are referring to and what type of relative clause is being introduced. So let's see the examples. We don't know the poet who wrote the poem. So here the relative pronoun used is who, that we don't know the poet. Which poet we are talking about? One who wrote the poem. Second example, we drove past the monument which is being illuminated for the cemetery. So here I'm talking about the monument. Now monument is not a living being, it is a non-living object or a non-living thing. For that I'm using the relative pronoun which. So always remember, which is used for things and places, and who and that are only for people. So while using the relative pronouns, which is always used for things and places, who and that are always used for people. So another example, the woman who came back to work yesterday was Sheila. And the celebrities whom we interviewed were very popular. So these are the few examples of relative pronouns. So once again, the relative pronouns are the ones which are used in a sentence to introduce the relative pronoun. And which all words are the relative pronouns? Who, whom, whose, which and that. And for this, who and that are only used for people, and which are used for things and places. So these were the types of pronouns with their explanations. I hope you must have understood, and you must go through them once, and in the next lesson we shall discuss the exercises of this chapter. So till then, do your work regularly, revise your work and stay safe at your places. Thank you all and have a good day.